Welcome to What's the Deal with Sam? Starring Sam Lilly. Join Sam as he discusses a wide variety of topics.
Fan mail.
Now let's start the show.
Thank you. What's the deal with it's not the end of the world? It's like it's not rocket science with the ground. I mean, you hear this phrase used all the time. And if you don't, then you bet your sweet balls I do. Or maybe they're savory. I don't know your balls. I don't know what your culinary skills are. It's like it's used usually for really mundane things, really like things that aren't really that big of a deal in the first place. Well, like I don't know, like you spill something on the carpet and you're like, oh geez. You're like, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. Or like, oh man, I failed my test. Like, nah, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. It's just kind of used to try to get people to calm down. Without saying calm down, because, as much as that works all the time when someone's upset, if you just tell them to calm down, 100% of the time it works to just tell them to calm down. And I'm being sarcastic, of course. It's that, like, this is kind of a way to sort of, like, say that and suggest that and get the idea out there of, like, yeah, it's like, whatever, like, it'll be fine. Like, things are going to work out. They're going to be okay. But, like, it does seem like it's a thing that's, like, kind of a crazy extreme to jump to. Also, like, how often is something that you do actually going to be the end of the world? I mean, almost never, because, well, the world's still here, so no one's really done anything that was the end of the world yet, at least on Earth. And, like, it just seems like a ridiculous thing to, like, it's a very high bar to set. It's like, or I guess a really low bar, if you want to look at it that way, of like, well, as long as you didn't mess it up so bad that everything, in the world is now ended and there's no more Earth to exist, whatever. Like, that seems like a tad far to go. At least to me. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's totally reasonable for, you or perhaps, a comic book supervillain or something, and it's like, like maybe something they do would be the end of the world. A crazy mad scientist or I don't know, like an alien with a destroy planet button. If you're part of the Imperials in Star Wars and you have a Death Star, if you shoot it and you miss, and it's like, well, it's not the end of the world because it missed that world, provided it doesn't hit a different world. I don't know how that would work if they miss. I don't know what the consequences would be. I'm sure we'll find out in one of the other, the next 60 Star Wars movies. And one of them has to be like, what if the Death Star missed? I hope there's not an article about that already. I hope there's not. That's not a thing anybody needs to know. Pretend I didn't say it. Maybe I should edit that out so nobody gets the idea. But, like, or like a revisionist history, like, what would happen if the Death Star had missed? Turns out that if that had happened, that Luke Skywalker would have led the Sith, or something. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I should stop making up things because it doesn't. No one cares. I don't even care. And like, it's not like something you bring up in court. You know what I mean? It's not like you're gonna go and like that's how you would defend your client. And it's like Your Honor, you can clearly see that my client's, like, all of these accusations towards my client, even if they are all absolutely true, 100%. I would like to offer to you and to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury one thing. This murder was not the end of the world. And, and it's like, they're not going to win the jury over. Is the judge going to be like, in light of the circumstances that the world still exists and persists, I'm ruling in favor of the defendant, or whatever. I don't watch enough lawyer shows to have the right words there. Not guilty. That's what he would say. That's the joke. It's not gonna happen that way. It's not gonna, because that's like ridiculous. That's a ridiculous standard. It's an unrealistic standard. Again, unless you're a supervillain or some shit, in a Saturday morning cartoon or a comic book or I guess, or if you're the bad guy in most modern movies, then yeah, like then otherwise, fucking, that's a bit much. That's all I'm getting at. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not doing a good job at saying it very succinctly, but I am trying to say it, and it's the try that counts. So what's the deal with it's not the end of the world? It's like, it's not brain surgery with the ground.
What's the deal with sand? What's the deal with sand? What's the deal with sand?